Hey guys, what's up? My name is Kayla and welcome to my channel. So, first of all, I want to say sorry, it's been a while. I've been going to school and I finally graduated and now I'm working and I'm doing hair. So it's been pretty exciting starting my career this year. And anyways, enough of that, because today we are going to talk about the Chris Watts case. Now, if you don't know, Chris Watts was 33 years old and had a beautiful family. He had a beautiful wife named Shanann. She was 15 weeks pregnant with their third child, and they had two beautiful daughters, one named Bella, who was 4, and Celeste, who was 3. And they lived in Frederick, Colorado, and Chris had worked at Anadarko Petroleum. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the Anadarko thing right. Anyway, so they seemed to have had it real good. Shanann was always updating her on Facebook with images of her and Chris and the girls, and they just seemed really happy. She had worked for this one company and she seemed to really like it. Her friends and family described Shanann as being a lively and happy girl.
She was fun, full of life. She did so many things. She had her hand in everything.
Even though she had lupus. But she didn't let that stop her. Sometimes she would even work 12-hour days. And friends described Chris as a hardworking and loving father. But not everything was as it seemed. Shanann started noticing Chris wasn't being himself anymore. He wasn't being very affectionate towards her. He had become cold towards her and didn't want to even talk to her. She texted her friends saying Chris was being distant and weird. So she knew, obviously, something in the relationship had changed, and friends described Chris as a hardworking, loving father. But Shanann, she started noticing Chris wasn't being his normal self with her. And she texted her friends confiding in them, I don't know what's wrong, Chris is being distant and weird. She just knew something was not right. So the company that Shanann worked for, they often, had trips and she would go on them, and she even got an award for her work. And after going on a business trip Shanann and her friend had gone on the plane ride back, she was pregnant. It wasn't a very comfortable trip, and to have to go home to a house where, just things aren't going so well. Her friend was worried for her.
I just told her, if you need help in the morning, let me know. And we gave each other a hug, and I watched her go into the house.
And they returned back early morning of August 13th. And that was the last time Shanann Watts was seen alive. Chris had pleaded with the media for help on finding his wife and 2 daughters.
He says he last saw his family around 5 a.m. Monday when he left their Frederick, Colorado home for work.
If you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back.
But during the interview, you could tell something was odd with his behavior. He had seemed too calm and not at all worried, which was not only noticeable to the public, but to the police as well. Chris had failed the polygraph, and when his neighbor's surveillance video showed him loading up his truck early in the morning, like around 5:30 a.m., Chris began to sweat. You could tell he was nervous. The police body cam just showed Chris just breaking a sweat. His neighbor even stated something's not right.
It just seems kind of odd to me. Why would he pull the truck up and go with the rock?
Right.
I've never seen him pull back. I've never seen him. If he loads his stuff, he normally just walks back and forth because I get him on camera.
What does he usually load up?
All he usually has is a lunchbox and a book bag. Looks like a computer.
His neighbor tells police he is suspicious.
He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks.
Shanann's friend, Nicole Atkinson, had reported her friend missing.
Can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are by the front door.
She realized something wasn't right when Shanann didn't go to her doctor's appointment. When the police arrived, they noticed Shanann's car inside the garage, her purse in the house, and her daughter's medication inside her purse, which she never left the house without it.
That's her purse. Is her medication. She takes these, her medication's still in here.
Nicole is clearly worried. She knows something is wrong. Watts tries to avoid making eye contact with her. Because of Nicole, his story is already falling apart.
When Chris arrived home that morning, he claimed Shanann had took the girls and went to a friend's house, but he never specified what friend. After viewing the surveillance video and failing the polygraph, the police also find out that Chris was having an affair with a coworker. And on his phone, it showed he had a secret app, which looks like a calculator, but it was used to send nudes to his mistress. And upon finding out about his mistress, Chris confessed to strangling Shanann to death and smothering his 2 daughters. At first, he made claims that Shanann had killed his daughters in a rage to get back at him. But that was pretty hard to believe after he lied about pretty much everything. The affair, murdering his wife, not knowing where they are, and going on live television to plead for them to come back.
Could she abandon? Could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now. Like, that's what's in my head. Like, if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back.
Even though he knew they were dead, they were not going to come back. And it had shocked a lot of people, but friends of Chris realized he wasn't like acting right. He wasn't behaving like his family had just been like gone. And when they found out that he killed them, they realized it all made sense. And on August 15th, 11:30 p.m., Chris Watts was arrested on suspicion of 3 first-degree murder charges and 3 charges of tampering with a deceased human body. And the next day, Shanann, Celeste, and Bella's bodies were found at an oil site where Chris had worked at. This was such a sad case, and it was just heartbreaking. And it still amazes me how people can be so cold, especially to their children who are nothing but innocent. Nothing but innocent. He ruined so many lives that morning. Completely unnecessary. And on November 19th, Chris Watts was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. It still amazes me to this day. And I'm glad, though, that these beautiful girls and his wife have some justice. But it's sad because they're not coming back. They're gone. And I feel so much for Shanann's family and friends. They didn't deserve that. He wanted to, be with his mistress and start over, but Was it worth it? I don't think so, because where is he sitting? In prison. Alright, well, thank you guys for, tuning into my video. I'll have another one later on. Thank you. I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, bye.